Welcome to Teabaggers, the podcast where golf meets a whole new level of attitude. I'm Dale Smedley, co-founder of Golf Gods, and I'm here to bring you behind the scenes of the brand, the sport, and the people who make golf more than just a game.
That's right. If you're here for stuffy country club talk, you might be in the wrong place. I'm Shaun Trevillian, mostly referred to as Bear, the co-founder of Golf Gods. And if you love golf and don't take life too seriously, then grab a drink, kick back, and join us for some stories, laughs, and maybe a few hot takes.
In this podcast, we're digging into all things Golf Gods, from the crazy idea that started it all to the wins, the struggles, and everything in between. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
So whether you're a weekend warrior or just here for the banter, welcome to Teabaggers, where golf is life, but not too serious.
Let's tee it up. Welcome back to another episode of the Teabaggers podcast. Last week, if you missed it, was an absolute epic episode. We covered all things about the Players' Championship, Bud Corley, Joel Damon, and a few little controversial little topics that actually went really well on social media. Lots of people getting involved in the comments section. How good was that?
It was good. Plenty of good feedback, good and bad, and it was good to see everyone get involved and let us know their take on the topic. So,
the most popular one that we got with in terms of engagement was the one around the Grumpy Pro Shop operators. And definitely there was some people that agreed with us, lots of people that agreed with us. There was also a lot of people from different countries around that said their golf clubs are definitely not grumpy, and we need to come and visit them. So we've got now a list of the happiest pro shops in the world. We're going to maybe do a world tour.
Yeah, look, that was the best part about it, was that people were able to say, hey, this golf course, my golf club's awesome, these guys are wicked, and show that there is some good people out there when you go and check in at a golf course. So it was good to see that side of things. We also got to hear from a few of the pros themselves. Bit of feedback on some of them dealing with the same shitty dad jokes all day long, and it just drains them, and that side of things. So it was good conversation and good to hear all sides of the topic.
One of the things I did put it down to over just an overall view of it is that customer service isn't that important in the thing. So they're blaming all the other reasons why they're grumpy and why they should be allowed to be grumpy. But at the end of the day, customer service is customer service, and it's free.
Well, I mean, I can't think of anywhere else where you go and pay for something and deal with someone grumpy regardless of the circumstances. So, customer service is probably something lacking there.
So great to see the comments section firing. We hope we can put out a few more bits of grabs from this episode, and that will do the same. Some other big things in golf this week. Tiger Woods announces his relationship with Vanessa Trump.
Yeah, look, it's been funny to see the reactions from people. I mean, we posted about it and we had people commenting that we'd doctored a photo, that it was
I didn't even read the comment section.
Facebook itself was, there's conspiracy theories everywhere on the internet, but Facebook was just a bit weird about that. If you think this is real, there's something wrong with you, and it was just crazy. I mean, he shared the photo and said he's in a relationship. I don't know.
That's it. There was two photos of him. AI based. So,
no, I don't think he. Had his phone hacked or anything. Someone did say maybe it's his son posting for him, because it was a bit gushy. So there is that side of things. But yeah, definitely real, and look, good luck to him.
Yeah. So he's made the announcement. It did get leaked. We did see it leaked probably a week earlier, and things like that. But he's also going to miss the Masters due to an Achilles a snapped Achilles. Is that what it was? I can't actually remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he did that. Apparently, golf training at home, but in light of the new relationship, we don't know how that injury's come about. So
throwing the leg over.
It could have been, yeah, one would suspect.
So just a little wrap up of some other things that have happened in golf. We've got the finals of the TGL.
Yeah, Atlanta won the first one, did they?
Was it Atlanta? Yep, Atlanta won 6-5.
And Patrick Cantlay made a big putt to clean up the first round, so we've got two more tomorrow.
Yeah, if they need the third, they'll use the third.
Yep.
So that one's on tomorrow with the New York Golf Club against Atlanta, so they'll be finishing that off. And Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy are set to play the Houston Open.
Yeah, look, I'm actually a bit excited about that, because the lead into the Masters is, we're talking majors now, we're talking the big serious golf events. We've had the Players, and these events tend to be a bit of a warm-up, so it will be good. Rory coming off the Players win, and Scotty was still recovering from a bit of an injury over Christmas, cutting the turkey ham, and hasn't quite found his form yet, so he'll be be trying to prime himself for the Masters. So that should be good to see this week.
Scotty actually did have a little bit of I caught the end of it around firing some of the live players up and causing a bit of grief. So he's come out and had a go at them. So it's time for him to get back to that 2024 form and start winning. And obviously, like you said, prime for the Masters coming up in 23 weeks?
Yeah, 23 days, I think I read, as of today.
I think it's the week of the 10th or something. Yep. So that would be always a good time when the Masters comes around.
Absolutely.
So one of the topics I wanted to talk about on this episode was Temu.
Yes.
So Temu Golf, or Temu in general, if you have been sleeping under a bridge and haven't seen the internet for a while, Temu is a marketplace in China. And the owner of Temu is now one of the richest guy in China. So that shows how much revenue they're doing. And I did grab some stats before we jumped on air.
Go on.
In 2024, the company reported an estimated revenue of $70.8 billion.
Yep, right. And they've only been around 3-4 years.
I think they've only been around 3 years.
Yep.
And I think it was nearly a 300% increase from in 2023.
Wow.
Obviously, what we're seeing now, and it is every industry, it's not just golf, but they have been hitting golf really, really hard in terms of Facebook ads, Google ads. Mm-hmm. They're even using influencers now and showing what they call their Temu hauls, where people go and spend maybe $100. They probably get 10 to 15 items that are worth absolutely jack shit and probably terrible.
And the quality reflects that.
But the consumer goes, hey, it was $100. I've got 10 items. If 2 or 3 of them are any good, then I'm happy.
Yep.
But there's obviously some other drawbacks of this type of thing. One of the stats of it, it's an Australian stat, that it's taken $3 billion out of the economy. So rather than that $3 billion getting floated around in local companies, paying GST, paying wages, paying your taxes, that money's just going straight over to China. No taxes paid, no staff done at all.
Yep.
So it's just really affecting local and small businesses. And it's not just Australia, it's happening around the world. And it's part of this tariff stuff that Trump's putting in. And I think the UK might have already added some tariffs for these sort of really cheap Chinese-made things.
Yep.
Have you bought off Temu?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, I've someone that would buy. You know, I don't say I have expensive taste, but I want to know it's decent quality. I don't want something to break the first time I buy it. So, no, I've never been on the website. I see the ads everywhere, but zero interest in shopping.
I do remember our good friend Sonny from Group Chat meme.
Yep.
He did a little Temu shop, and from memory, I think he got about 7 or 8 items. One of them was like a mid-drift. It was supposed to be a polo, came as a mid-drift top. The second one had the logo upside down. So all sorts of stuff. So I'm sure, as I said, if $70.8 billion worth of spend's gone through, there's probably a lot of our listeners that have had a crack.
Yep.
We'd love to know your feedback. Was it any good? Did you get a bargain? Did you throw it all in the bin?
Will you go back?
Would you go back? And that is the problem, I feel. Are they just passing on a whole lot of landmass to other people to go and throw it out?
Yeah, I'd hate to think how much, because like you say, if you order 10 garments and there's a mid-riff top, well, that's going to go in the bin.
Yep.
The logo's upside down in the bin. I mean, people aren't going to value the product because there's no value in it, and if it's not quality, it's the astronomical volume of products just being turfed.
Yeah, that's it. And one of the most annoying things from our point of view as a business owner, and it's not a feel sorry for us because it's happening to the biggest brands in golf, is the fakes. So I saw the other day a Vokey wedge.
Yep.
It looked like they have the stamping on the wedge. It looked like a 2-year-old had scribbled on it.
Yep.
There was also some Scotty Cameron knockoffs.
Yep.
I've also seen some Melbourne head covers actually advertised as Melbourne head covers, and then you click through and it takes you, there's no Melbourne head covers, or even if there was, it comes as a fake.
Yep.
And the other thing we did see was, I took the photo, so I know the photo pretty well, is one of our leather bags on there as an ad being advertised by Temu. And then by the time you click through with all the pop-ups, you can't find that particular bag anymore. But they're pulling people in through ads using other brand stuff. So surely that's,
It's deceitful marketing, isn't it?
It
for
is.
a start. So when you've taken the photo and it's on their website, it's not something other people can get away with. But it doesn't seem like anyone's trying to stop them at the moment. So
no, so between the dodgy trade, the environmental impacts, and things like that, we believe that it has to be stopped or tariffed or something like that. But yeah, let us know what you think. As I said, have you bought from Temu before? So moving on from the old Temu, we've got that off our chest now.
Yep.
But golf handicaps.
Something else to get off our chest. Go for it.
So golf handicaps is one of the things from a bit of background about us, we don't come from a golf background. We took up golf in our early 30s. Now we've been playing golf for maybe 10 years and a golf handicap is handy to play the competition golf and things like that. But for us, it's not super important that we're always trying to lower that handicap. There's more to golf than just a low handicap. But one of the things that sort of miffs us a bit is how is a golfer that's not playing competition golf in these days supposed to lower their handicap? Because what we're seeing is if you go to a member-driven club, you have to pay to go into the comp, which is fair enough. You've got a chance to win a sleeve of 3 golf balls.
Which you pay on top of either your green fees if you're a guest, or if you're a member, your yearly membership, you have to pay a comp fee.
That's right.
To have your handicap accepted.
But if you don't pay that comp fee, you're not allowed to put a card in towards your handicap. So you yourself have had maybe 2 or 3 rounds where we didn't play the comp, we scored together, we had some other members playing with us, you had 40 plus points, but they didn't allow you to put your card in to put your handicap.
Yep.
Is there a way, is that going to change, or is it not a possibility with the way golf is that,
I think I'd love to hear what people's opinions are, because there needs to be a better way to score for golfers that aren't just paying in a comp. Because like you said, I had 3 40-point rounds that would bring my handicap down a little bit. I want it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the course say, oh, you didn't pay to be in the comp. And in one case, we teed off, 15 minutes after the comp closed because the pro shop don't want to stay late enough. And then we can't count it. So there has to be a system where you can...
And that's the funny thing. So pretty much at one of our local clubs, I think it's around 2:30. Any rounds after that, you can't play in the comp. But it's all done on your phone, so no one counts it. The other members there signing it off. So why would it matter if you're playing at 3 o'clock, because the sun goes down at 8 o'clock at the moment, compared to playing at 8:30 in the morning when the pro shop guy's there?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I think it's something that they've done forever and they just think that's how it has to stay, because it doesn't make sense to me any other reason. I'd, again, love to hear someone's feedback on how that makes sense, because it certainly doesn't to me. And
I can understand if you're playing comp twice a week and things like that, it works. But the way golf's changed over the last few years with the casual golfer coming in, do things have to change? There is one thing that we've seen in terms of social golf clubs. Now, they're starting to boom, whether it's one of the big ones in Australia is called Future Golf. It's an online golf club. They've got huge numbers of members that play little events, but they allow you to put a social card in. So if Sean, if you and myself play, we've got 2 other blokes, we've all got handicaps, you can sign my card, we put it in, and we could actually put that against our handicap. Now, I know the guys that are 5, 6 handicappers trying to get down, sandbagging it to a 10, but we're talking from the point of view of a 18, 22, 25 handicapper that's just trying to take a few strokes off his handicap, not go the other way.
Yeah, and that's right. I think it's I think it comes from the point of view of the people that are close to scratch that think there's something untoward happening. But so a lot of entry-level golfers join Future because they're not comfortable enough joining a club yet, because clubs can be quite intimidating towards new golfers. So they join a social club, they get to put their cards in, they get to feel comfortable with the system. I don't see why anyone can't just use a social round towards their handicap. And I mean, one thing the argument I've had at the golf club that wouldn't accept my 40 points.
You nearly said the name then.
I won't shame them. But the argument I would have with members and board members there was, well, why don't you cap it at 36 points then? If I score under 36, don't accept it.
Yeah.
So there's no way for me to to sandbag my score. But if I rock up with 42 points, it's only going to lower my handicap. Why would I be trying to enhance
and all
it?
you're winning is a sleeve of golf balls.
Well, that's
anyway,
right.
So it's not
nothing on the line anyway.
Really and at 22, 23, you're playing in the C grade comp anyway. So what does that mean?
Exactly. So why can't we just say, okay, look, if you have a round where you, as a social round, you score over your handicap, we'll accept it. If you score under, we don't trust that you you would think you're just trying to blow it out. We're not going to cop it. At least then when you get a good score, you can try and knock a few strokes off you.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, tell us what you think. We didn't grow up with golf. I'm sure there's lots of people out there saying, nah, you need to play your comp, but I don't understand how it makes a difference if you pay your money for the comp or you are just playing a round that day. Now, golf, just after COVID or prior to COVID and during COVID, a comp round was, in our local area, was $5. It's now $7. What has gone up with an inflation of 40% for no added value or cost involved?
Well, what's happened is it's actually got easier because, like you said, now a lot of the scores go direct for the phone and you don't need to use a physical scorecard. And then all the courses have machines that read the scorecard anyway. So back in the day, the pro would have to go through and
count it all up,
check everything. Now they don't even do anything. So I don't know why it's gone up. Again, I used to have this argument with them. Why would I have to pay if two members are playing around and signing each other's card off? What am I paying extra for you to accept my score? Even if it's not in the comp, just for my own handicap, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, 100%. And this is a lot of an Australian style of golf. America and I'm sure Europe and that are probably different.
Yep.
But the pro shop is actually owned separately to the golf club.
Yep.
So the pro shop's trying to make his money. He's, working on the driver range, picking up golf balls, replacing golf balls, putting new flags out.
Selling Mars bars.
Selling Mars bars, Gatorades and all that sort of stuff. So it's like this thing of someone's created years ago that, the pro shop's not making money. Let's sell it off to Johnny the coach and let him deal with it. We'll take a licensing fee or a leasing fee and then we don't have to deal with it. Where I'm a big fan of the golf clubs, and one of our local clubs up here that we often play at, they've done that, where the actual golf club themselves taken back the pro shop. They deal with everything. It's under one ownership banner. It's not pro Johnny over there trying to make his cut, so he's got to charge a bit extra for comp days. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We're out here trying to lower our handicap, and we get judged as sandbaggers. But I haven't I haven't played a comp round in over a year.
Yep.
I've played lots of corporate events. I've played events. I go out and do content and things like that. I might play 14 holes, 9 holes, whatever. But I haven't played comp golf. So how am I supposed to lower my handicap when I go and play the Live Pro-Am and go and win it off 18? And I'm probably generally an 18 handicap. I'm not much difference. I'm not saying I'm at 5-6 handicapper and playing off 18. But yeah, it just makes it a little bit hard to try and drop your handicap, try and improve. If you're not playing comp, you're not playing between 7 a.m. and 2:30 Monday to Friday or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback. I know it's going to be a bit of a controversial one for the old school golfers that have grown up in golf.
That's fine as well. Give us the reasons why it has to be like that. It's either because it's always been that way or there's some legitimate reasons, but no one's ever been able to tell me anything other than it is what it is, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, moving on, one of the other things we were just chatting about the other day is free drops when your ball lands in a fairway divot. So you've piped one down the middle, couple groups ahead of you have hit off the fairway, never replace their divot. Now, a lot of clubs will have sand on the thing, but I've also played courses where they don't want you to fill the sand. The greenskeepers come round after, so there's going to be divots on the course.
Yep.
But why can you not get a free drop when your ball lands in a divot that's man-made?
Probably one of the stupidest things I feel like you have a conversation with about. To me, it's idiotic not to have a drop. If you've hit a ball in a fairway, you should be hitting off a fairway.
Yep.
But to me, I don't even have an issue with pros getting a drop. If a pro hits the fairway, and because they won't use sand on a pro event because they do it at night with the greenskeepers to get it all proper. That's fine. You shouldn't get penalised if you're playing the last group through and every other golfer's hit off a landing spot.
And a sprinkler head is okay.
A sprinkler head's okay. You got fucking JJ Spawn bloody getting a drop into another sprinkler going from behind a tree to on a fairway, and that's legal. But if you hit a good shot,
middle of the fairway,
you can be penalised because someone else hit the same good shot before you and took out a fucking chunk of grass.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It's one of those rules that and golf's full of these rules. They were penned 17 bloody 68 or whatever it started, and things haven't changed. There's a lot of things moving around in this world that were acceptable 20, 30 years ago that aren't now. Does golf have to change some of the rules, or are we happy playing with ancient rules
That's
from
got
the
to fucking
1700s?
change. It's got to change. It's stupid. It's stupid for a local club comp. To me, it's stupid in professional golf, because if you're a pro, you got bunkers here, you got trees there. You know that your hazards are around the place. If you hit a good shot, you should not be penalised. It's stupid.
And then it comes into winter golf. In winter golf, a lot of the courses here say, preferred lies. You can just move it because it's shit there.
Yeah, so if one course has had a bit of water, we can drop it wherever we like.
Yeah.
But if the course is nice and you know, when you play local courses, people take decent chunks sometimes, and sometimes people don't clean them. So why would you have to be penalised for it? If you can move it 2 inches, no closer to the green, who gives a shit?
Nah, that's it. And there's that famous Happy Gilmore quote. You remember that one?
Yeah.
What is it?
Was it when the shooter had to hit it off Frankenstein's foot or something? Yeah, there you go. So that's golf. Well, I don't think it's fucking golf at all. I think if you hit a fairway, you hit off a fairway.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I agree. So, yeah, tell us what you think at home.
Give us some feedback on it. Why is it that way, and why aren't we changing it?
Yeah. And does golf have to change some of these rules? But as I just said, we're moving on. We've got another little controversial topic. We've had some issues with this over the years, and I said we're out there to have fun. We're not out there to shoot the lower score and always playing to lower our handicap, because we're not always in the comp.
Well, we're not generally playing during a club comp, are we?
No, the times we get to play.
Yep.
And then we're also out shooting content and doing things like that. But music on the course, is it disrespectful or is it a vibe?
So I love music on the course. I will say, if you have an early tee off, a real 6:30, 7 a.m. tee off, it is quite nice in the mornings hearing the birds chirping and just the freshness without any tunes. I do like that vibe. Outside of that, I love music on the course. I just think it sets a nice, cool vibe. I do agree, or I do think that it's fine, or it is respectful to make sure your music's not loud enough that it's bothering others, and we'll make sure if
a lot of the speakers that are golf-related speakers, the ones that clip onto your
So the Golf God speaker, as an example,
very localised.
The sound is localised. Even if you pull up in your car and walk to have your shot, you might not hear it, but in the car, it's loud. But if we approach another group, we catch a group on the tee, we'll always turn the music off while they're playing. We've had groups sing out and say, hey, turn that music back up. Or, so it's not everyone's bothered by it. But you don't want to have sound systems blasting the whole course if not everyone wants that. But there shouldn't be any issue with having music in your group if your group are happy with it.
Yeah, 100%. And we've played golf with some randoms or friends of ours, and we bring out the music and they're like, why the hell have I not thought about bringing music out here? Like, it does change the vibe and things like that. So I'm definitely all for it. Sean's all definitely for it. As I said, there's a time and a place, and you've got to be respectful and things like that. Live have done it, and now there is a lot of social media talk of whether that's good or a bad thing, or on the coverage you can hear the music and things like that. It doesn't bother me one bit, but it does for some people.
Well, you remember prior to Liv, former Golf God sponsored athlete Campbell Rawson, our good mate of ours, he was telling us how there was an event in China and there was a music festival next to it, and
just the doof.
The doof was that loud, the ground was bloody vibrating. But he said the golfers loved it because they'd never played with any music,
and that would have been 6 or 7 years ago.
So it was well before Liv had started. It was pre-COVID, and but for him that was actually good because it was like, the different vibe here. There's some tunes that you sort of relax a bit. So I guess there would have been players there that would have hated it, I'm sure. He certainly told us he loved it. And I'd love to know what people think about it. Music or not? Do we go? Do we not? Is it a...
I reckon it's a must. The vibe lifts straight away, and especially for people that aren't very good at golf, we need to concentrate on something else.
Exactly.
But the other thing to this is when they're on the range, I can guarantee you can go to a PGA event and someone's got some headphones in, some earbuds or something, listening some tunes while they're just smacking some irons. But then all of a sudden it's complete disrespectful if someone plays a lullaby while we're playing a round of golf. So I reckon that one's going to be a little hot topic there.
Look forward to hearing what
definitely
everyone has to
tell
say.
us what you think, because we're all for the music, and louder the better, and get the vibes flowing, and with a few drinks to follow.
Absolutely.
What we've noticed also going up to the last sort of maybe 12 months, golf fashion is shifting.
Yep.
Now, we've been selling these party polos and the loud sort of stuff for 7 or 8 years, been super popular and things like that. But we've sort of seen this shift in the golf fashion to this streetwear vibe.
Yep.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Are you all for it? We've got the baggy pants coming back. We've got the retro look with pinstripes. We've got check patterns. You know, the shoes, whether the spikes are generally gone. It's literally a skate street shoe that most of these brands are bringing out now. But what's your thoughts on golf fashion? Should we just be embracing a change in golf where polos don't need to be tucked in, joggers should be accepted, black, white socks, it doesn't matter, collared police can go get nicked, we can wear a mock collar, we can wear nothing.
Yep.
Where are we at with golf fashion? And where's it going to end in the next couple of years?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, I think if you think about the professional game, the PGA Tour players started wearing hoodies a couple of years ago maybe, and it was the biggest talking point that had ever happened in PGA
I think
Tour.
It was Justin Thomas wore the Ralph Lauren one.
You know, it had been the tour had been exactly the same for 200 years, so it was just the biggest disruptive thing ever, you know, wearing a hoodie, like who gives a shit really.
Yep.
Then you've got Jason Day, you know, wearing the Melbourne track pants.
And even those sort of knits that they were wearing with a full printed sort of thing. I think they look awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of backlash, obviously PGA told him to take it off on I think it was the Masters.
That was the Masters last year. You know, PGA Tour, you can't even wear shorts. So
yeah, that needs to change.
Yeah.
Where these guys are athletes. These are muscly, gym-born athletes.
Yep.
And you've got to put them in a pair of pants. So let them wear a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
Get the calves out there.
Yeah.
You know, Phil Mickelson now on Live, he's got the best calves in golf.
He's thrilled. It's probably why he went. I mean, I don't know about the 400 million or whatever he got, but I think being able to get the calves out would have been stoked for him. But so there's lots of layers to it, and you know, I'd probably like to see pros wearing collars on TV. Like, I don't think they need to be wearing T-shirts.
But then remember when Tiger Woods and Nike
Tiger Woods doesn't wear a collar on a Sunday, does he?
No, well, they had that mock sort of small little thing, and all of a sudden, it's Tiger Woods, so, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if someone rolls down to their local membership-driven course and they're not wearing a polo or a collared shirt, they're getting ripped on.
Well, I mean, you know, and again, I guess you've got an exclusive course. If it's a high-end course, and say in Australia here you have your Royal Melbournes and Royal Adelaides and that, they can, if they want to set their strict dress codes, that's a place and a time for it, and that's fine. But as you sort of go down the rungs of the tiers and the importance of courses, I think casual courses could probably lay off it a bit. I won't name the course again, but one close to us, we had a friend that there was a couple of new golfers. They'd never played on a course before. They'd been driving ranges and simulator golf. Guy didn't have a polo. Rather than the pro just say to him, hey, mate, you need to grab a polo, the pro had a crack at him for being disrespectful. The kid was all a bit ashamed and didn't mean to be. And our mate took his polo off, threw it at the pro and said, give him that one, and stormed out of the car park with his top off. He'll know if he listens. But
there's that, you know, that's just one story. I've got this other story, a local course here, and it was just as the jogger craze was coming into those cuffed pants, and this particular person was a professional athlete in another sport, sponsored by Nike in that thing, wearing Nike joggers and playing his casual round, and a elderly gentleman member has come across 2 holes to say, hey, you can't be wearing them there. And it's like they were selling those in the pro shop. But an 80-year-old guy didn't realise that, you know, this is fashion and things change, and he wanted the normal trouser pants or the shorts. So it's just like, people have just got to move on. And yes, there is a time and a place, and some courses I'm totally down for the respect on some. But these courses that are struggling, these little courses that always wins, that you know, no one's coming out to play, well, make some changes, make it more accommodating, make them feel comfortable, and things like that. So once again, this is going to be a hot topic in the conversations. The whole podcast is about 5 or 6 topics where we want people to get involved.
Feedback. Love it.
We want the feedback.
And we like it from both angles. I like hearing counter arguments to my point of view, because we didn't grow up in golf, so we've only been here 10 years. I'm happy to hear it. But I think you can look good on a golf course and not have to look like you've been sitting in a corporate meeting for 8 hours. You know, we're out there to have fun as well, and it is a sport, and it's something you can enjoy.
So one of the things we're going to see, I've seen this couple brands already bringing it out, is the soccer style polo shirt. Now, Soccer traditionally will have the big logo across the thing because they're paying them millions and millions of dollars for the big players to get paid, and it's going to have checks and things like that. But one of the rules around these attire and these clubs is no big logos.
Yep.
And there's a couple of the guys, I think there might be Bad Birdie sponsored guys on the Live Tour that have these big checks, the big logos. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Because it's going to come, that it's going to this street fashion, they're changing it out. You're going to get the guy that roll up with a Golf Gods logo written across the front.
Yep.
Do you reckon they're going to get kicked out, or they reckon they're going to let those ones slide?
Yeah, I reckon they'll initially kick them out. I think to start with, they probably will. And once it becomes accepted somewhere, then other people will probably fall in line, or if the right person does it, then all of a sudden... Wasn't Justin Timberlake that got kicked out of a golf course in Sydney for having a tattoo or something showing?
I think so. It was one of the big things. He wasn't
Hollywood
allowed to
guy
play
in Sydney, so he wasn't important enough to get that rule wavered. But yeah, it'll be interesting. The soccer polos, I think they look cool as it is, and I think on a golf course it would look cool, and if a group of yous were wearing it. But if everyone's in white and you were wearing a soccer polo, I mean, you'd stand out, right? Yeah. But I think in general it's fashion moves across all facets of the world, and I don't think it's harming anyone if it's you're covering yourself. You got clothes on, you got sleeves on. Like we're not talking about wearing singlets out there, right? It's still a shirt, still got. Well, sleeves.
I got an invite to a golf day the other day, and was with Mercedes Benz, and they're playing at Kooyonga, I'll name the club here in Adelaide, and the top of the rule says no exposed tattoos. That's the top thing of no exposed tattoos. So anyone with a neck tattoo is probably going to have to put a bit of makeup. Anyone with a sleeve is going to have to wear a long sleeve sort of skins type thing. What are your thoughts on not being allowed to play golf because of a tattoo?
Well, I think that's ancient, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, tattoos 50 years ago meant you were probably a bikie or an idiot, whereas tattoos are very common now. It's it seems crazy to think that you would still be pushing that agenda. Yeah. So, that's one I don't agree with at all. I
don't think because you've got a tattoo, you're going to disrespect the course, you're going to do anything.
Of course not.
Like a normal bloke.
Like, we know heaps of people, successful businessmen that have tattoos all over them. It's just a way of, for people to express themselves.
But actually, if I play there, I'd have to wear pants.
Yeah, I was nearly going to say that.
I might get away with a long socks.
Tape up your leg or something. But, that seems weird of all the things to be bothered by. Having, in this day and age, having an issue with a tattoo, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it. So should golf clubs update their dress codes? I know the top tier clubs are going to say no way. But I think there's some other clubs, and I know in America that's a lot changed. I think if you talk to a lot of people in America already, pretty much the old tucked in shirts thing of the past. Yeah, obviously we've spoke about it on this podcast with the hats in the clubhouses and things like that. But let us know what you think. We're down for change, and fashion in golf's moving really, really fast. So and it's becoming a big part. Like, there's the funniest thing I've always heard is like guys spend more time and effort on their golf uniform than they do on any other dress up that they do. The missus says, we're going out for nice dinner. Yeah, whatever. I'll put a creased up shirt.
I'm a bit of a victim of that, Dale. Plenty of times I've gone out with you and you're like, you're going in and ironing that, mate. And I'm like, I didn't think it was that bad. Whereas if I was playing golf, I'd probably make sure at least my kit matched or look
your shoes
good.
are matching and things like that. So, no, very good. Very controversial topics there and things like that. But one thing we wanted to just touch on before we wrap up the episode. Golf lessons, in-person golf lessons with a golf pro, or self-taught YouTube lessons. What's your thoughts?
I think there's a place for both. The odd lesson that we've had along the journey has always given us something to work on or to think about. But I think there's such a good place for YouTube lessons and online content in general. I mean, our Live Golf winners, Slumpy and CK. I watch their stuff quite a bit when it pops up, and a couple little things about chipping that I hadn't done before I've adopted, and I'm finding I'm hitting my chips a lot cleaner, a bit more loft than I was before, and little tips like that along the way I think are excellent, because you don't always want to be going to get a full lesson to learn little bits and pieces of the golf game, because it's so many facets to it. But I think that a lesson's pretty important along the way just to make sure.
Yeah, I think if you're getting started in golf, having a lesson in person is super important because everyone's swing's slightly different. And we used to try and help each other out. We had a golf lesson. Wiki came and helped us here one day, and we're thinking, oh, yeah, he's telling me I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And he told you the complete opposite, didn't he? So we're trying to help each other.
Well, we're left-handed and right-handed, and we were telling each other the exact opposite of what we needed to be doing. So I don't know how that
Leave
played.
it to the pros.
Yeah.
But there's more to it. Like, I have had 5 or 6 lessons from a golf pro. Now, I reckon each of those lessons, the person's told me the same thing every time. Take it on the outside and things like that. But it's just a bit of a jolt in the mind, where obviously with YouTube golf, the cost to be able to consume information from teachers is basically free.
Yep.
So, you know, a good golf coach might cost, what, $150 for a session, $100? I can't remember the exact price, compared to consuming as much like golf content as you can in terms of lessons for free. There's that way of, like, you know, golf's an expensive sport anyway, between clubs, membership and rounds. You know, some people can't afford to do those. So there's a bonus there that the cost of YouTube thing is thing.
And it can be a bit like your physios that are, you know, come back every week and we're going to massage your hamstring when really you just need to do some stretching and some strength work. You don't need to keep going to the physio.
Yep.
I'm not accusing golf pros of doing this, but there probably can be a tendency to, like, try and just get you back and get you back and get you back rather than go, we just need to fix you on that. And that's probably all you need to do for now. And if you want to get another 10 shots off your handicap, well, we've got some work to do, but you know, what level do you want to be at? And that's what we can fix this problem. But there's obviously, like, the is it Skillest, the website?
It's an app where I think you might record yourself in a couple different swings, you upload it.
Yep.
There's online coaches. We've got one of our friends, Freeform Golf, Sam there. He's an Australian based out of Canada.
Yep.
Really doing some good things on that Skillest app.
Yeah, and he worked out of our simulator for a bit when he was back in Adelaide, and getting to see that people recording yourself, because you don't know what you look like, right, until you film it. And then him being able to coach on that, I think is
the lines.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and that was something Wiki did for me. I thought I was. He said to hit 5 or 6, and I flushed him. I thought, I don't think there's anything he can teach me. I think I'm pretty good here.
You're a 20-fucking-2 handicapper,
I was like, I don't know what he's going to tell me. And then he took a video and he goes, "See how your head's there? It's meant to be here. See how your legs are there? They're meant to be there." And he's like, "It's pretty much a miracle you hit the ball at all the way."
I can just see the headline: 22 handicapper thinks golf pro can't help him.
Professional golf pro that teaches professional players. I think I'm wasting this bloke's time here. But being able to see the video and him explain it, you go, fuck, I'm in nowhere near the position
where the pros are.
And he was able to compare me to professional golf. Go, see how he stands, look at how you stand. I'm like, oh shit, that's no good at all. I've got a lot of work to do.
Got
a lot of work to do. So
here's my credit card.
Yeah, exactly. So getting that feedback from filming yourself was good, and things like Skillest and our boy Sammy at Freeform there, being able to upload it and have them draw it up and go, here's where you should be, here's where your positioning needs to be, I think helps a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think a lot of people would be getting massive benefits from using just online information.
Little tips here and there, and going out and trying some things and things like that. So I'm definitely for the golf pro lesson. I don't take too much out of YouTube. As I said, the short form stuff, I'm a short form consumer of content. And there's definitely some real short little tips. But I know once I've had a lesson from Wiki, my coach, he's got me absolutely striping them. And then I'll go back into my shitty ways after not playing a few rounds for a few weeks.
Well, then you play with me and I don't know what to tell you because I didn't pay enough attention during your lesson or thinking about what I've got to do. So I'm not much help there.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode of the Teabaggers podcast. Remember, guys, make sure you do like, subscribe on our YouTube, review our, if you're listening to the podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify, make sure you give us a review because that goes a long way to getting the podcast out there. And we actually love doing them. We love seeing the feedback in the comments. We love putting the shorts up. So keep getting involved, guys. And also tell us what you'd like us to talk about. If there's any hot topics where you guys are all about it, put it in the comments and tell us to talk about it, and we'll give you our hot take on it. So thanks for listening. See you guys next week.